and welcome to ILTV's Evening Update. I'm Aaron Porras here with the latest news from Israel. Hamas has just made an arrest for the assassination of one of their top commanders who was gunned down last March. In the Gaza press conference earlier today, the group's new leader Ismail Haniyeh said that, quote, "We've arrested the assassin who pulled the trigger. The murderer was following the instructions of his Israeli commanders and confessed to the act and shared all the details with his investigators," end quote. He added that the assassin, quote, "will be executed according to the principle of justice of the people fighting the occupation," end quote. He then went on to state that the Palestinian Ministry of Interior would hold a press conference in the coming days to provide further details regarding the assassination. Mazen Faka was assassinated outside of his home in Gaza on March 24th in an attack that Hamas has widely attributed to Israeli security forces. However, to this day, Israel denies all responsibility, with Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman going so far as to say that the assassination was an inside job. Faka had been previously arrested by Israel in 2002 for helping orchestrate suicide bombings that killed 9 Israelis, but was later released as part of the Gilad Shalit prisoner exchange in 2011. It looks like foreign ministry workers are making good on their threat to go on strike during President Trump's visit to Israel later this month. This is despite a meeting last night between representatives of the Foreign Ministry and the Finance Ministry that resulted in an agreement to enact a previously formatted deal. The agreement would raise the salaries of diplomats in accordance with the cost of living in the countries where they are serving. However, foreign ministry workers are now saying that the strike will go along as planned until the deal is both signed and implemented. In a memo sent to all ministry employees serving in Israel and abroad, Union head and Israeli ambassador to South Sudan, Ayman Odeh, told diplomats to not participate in any preparations for Trump's visit. It's unclear what effect the strike will have on Trump's upcoming mission, but according to Odeh, diplomatic workers will be prohibited from processing paperwork, attending planning meetings, placing orders with vendors, or any other activities related to the high-level meet. Additionally, Odeh has instructed workers to also refuse to attend meetings concerning plans to bring Portuguese and Chinese construction workers to Israel. Trump is expected to visit Israel on May 22nd. To mark the upcoming holiday of Lag BaOmer, a poll was released indicating that a majority of Jewish Israelis are now interested in marrying outside Israel's chief rabbinate. The survey was conducted by the Israeli organization Hidush, which aims to advance religious pluralism. According to the survey, 55% of respondents said that they would be open to marry outside the rabbinate's supervision. Hidush responded that this is the very first time a majority of Jewish respondents voted against marriage via the official rabbinical practice. In Israel, only Orthodox ceremonies are officially recognized. Those who wish to marry or divorce outside the faith are forced to do so outside of the country, meaning hundreds of thousands of Israelis have to live in a state of unofficial common law relationships. Head of the Hidush organization, Rabbi Uri Regev, states that it's significant for the state of Israel to open their eyes and recognize that the time has come to dissolve religious coercion and allow each family to choose how they will marry, reflecting on their own beliefs. Joint Arab List Chairman MK Ayman Odeh is joining in on the Palestinian prisoners' hunger strike for one day of protest in hopes it will increase awareness for the general public. Led by Fatah's Marwan Barghouti, more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners have been striking in Israeli prisons for several weeks now, demanding better conditions. Cabinet ministers accuse Barghouti of trying to strengthen his political standing in hopes of becoming the prospective successor to Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. Odeh, however, accuses the Israeli government of distasteful tactics after a tape of Barghouti eating in his cell and breaking the strike twice was released. Odeh says he will continue to support the prisoners' demands for better medical care and better treatment, especially when they are being transported between prisons or to and from court, and overall, with their demand for respect. He notes that the Israeli government will never succeed in breaking down those fighting for their most basic rights. A Palestinian man has just been indicted for the murder of a British student last month in Jerusalem. On April 14th, 57-year-old Jamil Tamimi from East Jerusalem stabbed Hannah Bladon to death on the Jerusalem light rail. Hannah Bladon had been an exchange student in a program at the Hebrew University. Tamimi told police, though, that he wanted to die and had attacked Bladon in hopes that the soldiers standing near her would kill him. Earlier that morning, Tamimi had been released from a mental health facility in northern Israel. He then traveled to Jerusalem to visit his family, who ultimately refused to see him because he'd been formally convicted of sexually abusing his own daughter. The family of his victim, Hannah Bladon, says that Hannah was the most caring, sensitive, and compassionate daughter you could ever wish for. Just prior to her death, She'd given up her seat on the crowded light rail to a mother and her newborn.
That's all for now. Stay tuned on ILTV.tv for our main daily broadcast playing after this. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you next time with our morning briefing from Israel at 8 a.m. Eastern Time.